don't know if the world's woken up to just how dangerous the current situation is. It's extraordinarily dangerous. But be that as may, we're seeing a definite change in the conflict in Ukraine. It's becoming broader in scope and scale. We already saw that it changed from being a Ukrainian-Russian conflict to being a NATO-Russian conflict. The Ukrainian military that's operating today is a de facto proxy of NATO. It's trained, equipped by NATO. It's provided intelligence, communication support, logistics support by NATO. This is why Russian President Putin, when he spoke of the referenda, he spoke of a conflict between Russia and the collective West, not just Ukraine, but the collective West. NATO and nations who aren't members of NATO who are also providing assistance. So this is a fundamental confrontation between Russia and the West, which didn't exist when this conflict first started. This has become, for Russia, an existential conflict. That's an important term, because that means that Russia is fighting for the very survival of the Russian state. Defeat is not an option. Russia cannot lose this conflict. The question now is the collective West viewing their support of Ukraine to be existential in nature? Are they going to put everything at stake? And when I mean everything, I mean the survival of their respective nations. Russia is willing to use nuclear weapons to defend the Russian state. Is NATO willing to use nuclear weapons to defend Ukraine? I think the answer is no. But NATO has been caught by the Russian actions. I believe NATO has been put into what is known as a horns of a dilemma, meaning no matter what they do, they're going to get impaled on a horn. There is no good option. They've overcommitted to their support for Ukraine. They continue to say that they're going to provide support to Ukraine to recapture the former Ukrainian territories. But that means that now Ukraine will be invading Russia from the Russian perspective, which Russia will, of course, up the stakes. I don't think NATO is willing to double down on this, which means NATO is going to suffer another embarrassing defeat if Russia defeats Ukraine, a defeat along the lines of Afghanistan, but even worse, because this is in their backyard. They've committed everything. But I think it's a defeat that NATO will have to absorb, because the consequences of going to war with Russia are just too great. It's a very dangerous situation. I don't know if the world's woken up to just how dangerous the current situation is. It's extraordinarily dangerous.